Joining us on today's show is one of the best in the business. He spends his Fridays beating up people on Impact Wrestling. He is an awesome wrestler, an actor, an all-around good guy. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Ken Anderson. Anderson, how you doing, Ken?
I'm good, man. How are you? I appreciate the intro, but I'm actually an asshole.
There you go.
I'm good, man.
Well, Ken, thanks for joining us tonight. How you doing, man? Is everything going good?
Very good, very good. Just got back from the UK. Actually, I was over in the UK for a few days and just home for a few more days before getting ready to come up to New York for a big show.
That's the United Kingdom, Steve.
I know.
Okay, all right. Well, you mentioned it. First things first, this Sunday, June 7th, live from Citi Field, you were going to be part of a special event called Legends of Wrestling. Now, what can you tell us about your involvement in this event?
Well, for the first time in quite a while, the guys who made up a good portion of the Aces and Eights and Impact Wrestling will be back together. And that's Wes Briscoe, Doc, and Knox. So, here's the thing. Brian Knobs and Jerry Staggs, the Nasty Boys, been talking all kinds of garbage about us, about me. And these are guys that have been everywhere in the business. They've worked for every major company. They've been around the world. They've been talking a lot of trash. And, Brian Knobs is known in the business as being somewhat of a prankster, right? He pulls pranks on people. Well, these four guys, myself and these other three guys, we don't pull pranks. We just beat people up. So I'll just leave it at that.
All right. Now, like we said, you'll be wrestling at Citi Field, the home of the New York Mets. We know that you're an avid Packers fan, but who's your favorite baseball team?
I would have to say probably the Twins. I go to more games because I live in Minneapolis right now, and to be honest with you, I'm not a huge baseball fan. Growing up in Wisconsin, it was all about the Packers, and the Brewers kind of always sucked. And then you know what? To be honest with you, truth be told, the Packers sucked for a long time too. But there's just something different about that organization, just about football in general, that I am drawn to.
Sure.
Now, we mentioned this event is called Legends of Wrestling. We've said it already a bunch of times. We're probably going to say it a bunch more. But what legends are you looking forward to seeing while you're there? We know that Bret Hart, Ric Flair, Goldberg, they're all going to be there. Any of those guys got you excited for the event?
Absolutely. I was just going to say the three that you just rattled off there. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing Knobs and Sags in action once again. And, it's just a really stacked card. It's going to be a great show. There's just tons of talent that everybody's going to know and recognize and remember. It's going to be a little bit of nostalgia. And it'll be highly entertaining.
Sure.
Now, do you actually consider yourself a legend in this business?
Oh, God, I hope not. I hope I'm not that old yet.
Well, I consider you a legend, but not to do with age, just the I guess your contribution so far to the business.
Well, I appreciate that. And that's, I guess, the way that I stand. I don't think that that's something for me to determine. That's for the fans and my peers to determine, So
Sure.
If they want to call me that, I guess I appreciate it.
There you go. Now let's talk a little bit about Impact Wrestling. We wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't ask this. So it was just announced that Destination America will now be showing Ring of Honor as well. Did you have any kind of reaction when you heard this news? And do you think it'll make for some friendly competition between the two companies?
You just said the key word, and something that's been sorely lacking in our business for quite a while. I mean, to the degree that it once did, and that's competition. And I know people, for whatever reason, like to just pick out what the negatives could potentially be. But I think some of the potential positives are what you just said. There's going to be competition between the two brands, a friendly competition, because at the end of the day, we're all in the same boat together. We're all in the same team. It's like the wrestling community is sort of a big fraternity, if you will.
Sure.
But that's what I'm really looking forward to.
All right.
Awesome.
And you know what? At the end of the day, what happens will happen. All we can do as performers is go out there and do our best, do our jobs, and try to entertain people and tell stories and put on a top-notch entertaining program. And those other people that make decisions in the corporate world, within the networks, they're going to make decisions, and we don't have any control over that. We don't have any say over that. So I think that if we tend to focus on that kind of stuff, the only people that really are hurt by it or affected by it are us. You know, if I worry about stuff that's outside of my control, the only person affected by it is me. So
Okay.
I just worry about the stuff that I can control.
Awesome. Now, as a member of Impact Wrestling, the locker room, now, who are some of the guys we should be looking out for? I guess, in other words, who is the next big thing to come out of Impact Wrestling?
I would say, as far as new fresh faces or newer, fresher faces, Bram is, in my opinion, just a phenomenal talent. He's got the total package. He's got the look. He's got the mic skills. He's got something that you look at him and you just see something in his eye that makes you not want to run into a guy like that in a dark alley, for real. You've got EC3, who I find to be highly entertaining, and again, a guy that has a total package, and somebody that's been with TNA for quite a while and sort of, I don't know, I don't want to say underutilized. It's just, I don't think people have seen his full potential, and that's Gunner. And I think Gunner is just a phenomenal talent all around. He's a great worker. He actually can talk, and he's pretty intense. And he's got an okay look. You know, he's got to work on his legs a little bit. He's got to do some squats or something. But, yeah, those are three names I would say off the top of my head.
All right.
We did see you in a video with a couple of our friends, the Xer guys, teaching some workout tips there. Do you think you can get Gunner to do some of those squats?
Yeah, I'm working on him. I've been working on him for quite a while. But he just wants to sit on the couch and eat potato chips, watch wrestling and Star Wars, and play video games and things like that. So maybe we can get the extra guys to maybe show up at his house and have an intervention.
All right.
Now, it was also announced recently that Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins fame, he would be involved with Impact. With all these changes coming down the pike, are you excited for the future of Impact Wrestling and what's in store?
Absolutely. And the fact that Billy's been added, I didn't really know Billy too well. I had met him a few times here and there, but it was just in passing. So when people would ask me, you know, are you excited about Billy coming on, I would say, well, the only thing that I really know about him is that he's creative. He's been successful in the entertainment industry thus far, and I know that he's a huge wrestling fan. He's very passionate about our business. And so I'm hoping, and I think that's what Dixie Carter and John Gaborik are hoping, is that those things are going to marry well together. And having had firsthand experience working with him a few times now, it's I couldn't be more happy. I couldn't be happier. He's just the little things that he adds, the nuance that he adds to a wrestling match, his understanding of psychology and why we should do things to garner certain reactions from people is unteachable, I think. You know, it's something that you either have or you don't. Mm-hmm. He has it.
Now, professional wrestling seems to be having a resurgence in popularity these days due to a lot of factors, including, but not limited to, the debuts of some of independent wrestling's best. It may be a little-known fact, but you did spend a lot of time on the independent circuit. Are you happy to see these guys coming up to the quote-unquote big leagues?
Oh, I couldn't be happier. I think that for several years, for some reason, the directive was we don't want these indie stars. We don't want people who are self-motivated, self-starters, entrepreneurs. We don't want those people disgracing our business for some reason. It was, we need people that really don't care about the business, that just look at this as a way to make some money and they want to be famous. And I'm hoping that, and I'm seeing that, I think those people that made those decisions are sort of seeing the error of their ways, and they're realizing how beneficial it is to have people who actually care about the business and love the business and who have worked extremely hard to get to the point where they're at, and it didn't matter. The paycheck wasn't the number one most important thing on their list. It was mainly for love of the business. I think if you can do something that you absolutely love, you will eventually make money at it.
Now, Ken, you're one of the guys who has almost done it all in professional wrestling. But do you have any things left on your so-called wrestling bucket list? Is there something that you still just really need to do?
Yeah, but I prefer to keep that kind of stuff to myself. I was always I always had these goals in my head as I was coming up, and I would always hear people around me sort of boldly state, "This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this," or "I want to do this." And when it's kind of like in sports, when you see a guy talk trash about the other team that they're going to face next Sunday, and they say boldly, "This is what I'm going to do," and then they get their ass kicked. It's that person looks like an idiot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's to some degree, I sort of always felt that way. That I just like to keep my own,
Sure, no problem.
goals for myself. Yeah, there are certain things that I would like to do in business. But if tomorrow my doctor said to me, "Ken, for whatever reason, you cannot wrestle another day in your life," I would be pretty happy with the way that my career's gone. Yeah.
Well, wrestlers talk of people who can talk fans into arena. We think that you're one of those wrestlers. Other than yourself, who do you consider some of the best talkers in the business?
Oh, like ever? I mean, obviously, Hogan, Rock, Austin. And those are the guys that got me interested in the business to begin with. Today, like I said, kind of the same guys that I was talking about earlier, those guys in TNA to look out for. Bram, people need to pay attention to that guy because he's got something special. And like I said, EC3 continues to gain popularity or just to gain confidence and ability on the microphone.
All right.
And as far as other companies go, I don't know because I don't really watch. I try to avoid as much as I can. I watch every, here and there. But
Sure. All right, well, hopefully this doesn't happen for a long time, but when your in-ring career starts to wind down, do you think you would want a clean break from wrestling, or would you be willing to still be involved in wrestling, just in a less physical role, maybe?
No, I would definitely like to either start a wrestling school of my own or assist with the development of new talent. Whatever capacity that may be, whether it's strictly off the road or if it's on the road at shows and helping the younger guys put their matches together. But yeah, I definitely don't see myself just stepping away and getting out of the business altogether.
All right.
I love it too much.
Well, we follow you on social media, and it seems like you're pretty busy outside of wrestling. What are some of your interests outside of the squared circle?
I've always taken an interest, since I can remember, since I was a little kid, I wanted to be an actor. So that's something that I've always sort of pursued, still actively pursuing. It's a very tough sort of business to break into, especially if you're a pro wrestler. For some reason, in Hollywood, they view pro wrestling as the redheaded stepchild of the entertainment industry, even though The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, happens to be the number one box office draw in the history of movies. And Dave Bautista's having a pretty good run, and a couple other guys that are doing well. But other than that, I also enjoy politics, religion. Talking about religion, I recently started up a podcast. It's actually almost a year ago now, with a friend of mine. It's called Push the Button, and you can find it on iTunes or Stitcher. And we basically talk about it's not about wrestling at all. We don't talk about wrestling. We talk about sex, politics, and religion. All the things that we're supposed to not talk about. They happen to be the most important things in everybody's lives, and they affect everybody's lives in some way or another, but we're not supposed to talk about them. So we basically try to, my co-host and I have pretty differing opinions on certain things, and we try to talk about those and show that we can have meaningful, honest, open conversations about these things and not walk away wanting to hate each other or hurt each other, but just kind of open your mind and think a little bit.
All right. Now, after leaving the WWE, you filmed a series of short videos, and you're no stranger to the big screen. Do you think we will get to see Mr. Anderson in any more films down the line?
That's what I'm hoping. I am hoping that. And that's something that I work on all the time. I'm always studying the craft of acting and trying to hone my skills and trying to take that over and cross it over into the wrestling industry. I believe that the differences between pro wrestling and any other form of Hollywood entertainment, television shows or movies, is not that. The gap is not that wide. And I would prefer to see more of our talent sort of starting to go down that road and really focus on taking acting classes and things like that. Because there's nothing worse than having a great feud and then seeing a backstage interview that's just terrible, just bad acting. And we've all seen it. And I've probably been involved in one or two myself.
Lightning round.
Dixie Carter.
Sweetie.
Okay.
All right. Austin Aries.
Oh boy, Austin Aries.
And don't
the first thing that comes to my mind is vegan.
Okay. Kurt Angle.
Cyborg.
Eric Young.
Funny guy.
Ethan Carter III.
Annoying guy.
And Mr. Anderson.
Dumb prick.
Now, we mentioned that you're very active on social media. So where can fans of yours keep up with you these days?
You can find me on Twitter. My handle is at Mr. Ken Anderson. That's Mr. Ken Anderson. And then on Instagram, I am Mr. spelled out Mister Ken Anderson. And as I said, you can find me on iTunes, Stitcher, or directly at the ddmpe.com. And the name of the podcast is called Push the Button.
All right, Ken. Well, we can't wait to see you this Sunday. Legends of Wrestling at Citi Field in New York at the New York Mets Stadium. Ken, we'll have a good day, and we'll see you then.
Will you guys be there?
Yes, we will.
Yep.
Oh, maybe I'll at some point hit toss you guys over the top rope and introduce you to the world of pro wrestling.
There you go.
That's amazing. I think you've got a future in this business.
All right, thanks, guys.